Hi YouTube, it's Kathy, and I'm here to talk to you about a question I get quite often, which is, how do you read so much? This question not only comes up in my YouTube comments and on Twitter and on Facebook, but also when I just talk to people in person about books, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I read 23 books last month, and they'll be like, you did what now? Invariably, they'll talk about how I must be a speed reader, and I kind of want to laugh right in their faces because I'm actually a pretty slow reader. I just read a lot, as in like, all the time. So I thought a little bit about it and I broke this down into my top 5 tips on how to read more or so much. The first tip is it's dangerous to go alone. Yes, that's a very nerdy reference and I'm okay with it. What I mean by this is I never go anywhere without access to at least one book. This book doesn't have to be a physical book. It can be an ebook on my phone. It can be an audiobook on my phone. It can in fact be a physical book. Sometimes I will have like 5 books with me that are physical books and people look at me strangely because that's too much to carry around for a weekend. But my thing is, if you always have a book on you, you always have something to read, which means you can fit it into the tiny little times you find throughout the day, such as your lunch break or coffee breaks at work, while you're on the bus. I get so much audiobook listening done on the bus you don't even understand. If you're really brave, you can bring it out in the grocery lineup and just read a couple of pages while you're waiting to get scanned through. Basically anywhere where you're waiting for something, be it a break at work, be it a break at school, be it standing at a bus stop, you name it. That's when I get in a little bit of extra reading. I also make it a point to read in my bathtub every Wednesday. This is a thing that is very well known about me. I've been doing it for over 5 years. People know that I need that time to read in that bathtub. My second tip is library love. Yes, one, because I work at a library and I love libraries because you have access to so many things. But I wanted to give this its own category because having things out from the library actually gives me an incentive to read them because obviously I have to return them. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to take something out just to have to return it unread. So that really lights a fire under my butt to get whatever it is read, be it a physical book, an ebook, or an audiobook, because you can get all of those from the library. That leads me into my next tip, which is all the formats. Are you traveling quite often and don't want to carry around a physical book? Carry around an ebook reader instead, or if you're like me, you just read it right off your phone. I use a mixture of the Kindle app as well as the library apps that I have on my phone for ebooks. Audiobooks, I have never paid for a single audiobook. I get them all through my library on their app. And of course, if you're the type of person that still has a CD player, you can also get audiobooks on CD. I always have at least one physical book and one audiobook going. Sometimes I will have a physical book, an audiobook, and an ebook going. Ebook is the hardest format for me to actually remember to read, so having all 3 at the same time is not a good idea for me personally, but sometimes there are things I want to read and I just can't find them any other way. My 4th tip is readathons. If you've been here before, you probably know that I really like doing readathons. I really like hosting readathons, I really like participating in readathons, and one of the things that gets me to read a lot is readathons because we have all of these prompts, and I'm the type of person that likes to fulfill every single prompt. That gets me to go through my list of books that I'm interested in and pick out books that fit the prompts, but then I also find other books I'm interested in because I'm looking for these very specific things in the book. And then of course I get really excited about reading whatever that readathon is based around. For example, some of the readathons that I host are the Queer Lit Readathon, where we read queer books. I also run the Plug and Reader Readathon, where we talk about ebooks and audiobooks. I've also been a co-host for Audiobookathon, where we read audiobooks, Sequelathon, where we read sequels, Libraryathon, where we read books from the library. And I could go on, but I'm sure you get the point. Find a readathon that's based around something you love or you're passionate about or you really, really want to become passionate about, and do that readathon. I love them so much, they're so fun. My 5th and final tip for this video is book clubs. I also didn't plan this, but I am wearing the perfect shirt for this video. Book clubs, both online and offline, are really great for motivation to read because they give you something that is a target to read within that time frame. You can join a book club that's based around one specific genre or one specific theme, or you can join book clubs that are a little bit more nebulous, such as my in-person book club. We read random things every time we get together. Book clubs also put a time limit on it, so you go, okay, I'm going to read this book, and you have to get it done by the day, otherwise you're not gonna really have that much to say when you meet up. And of course, it's a really cool way to find out about new books because other people will have recommendations about what we should be reading next. Like I said before, this is just a few of the things that really prompt me to read as much as I do, to the point where my goal this year is to read fewer books than last year. If you have any really good tips, let me know about them down in the comments below. On the way down to the comments, if you hit that subscribe button, that would be very nice of you. If you don't have a tip but want me to know that you were here, please just leave me an emoji or a smiley face if you're on a keyboard. You can like and share this as you see fit, and I will see you very soon. Bye!